Hi, this is Kathleen.
And this is Charlene.
The two C's to discuss
classical music.
Classical music.
Yes, our favorite topic.
What else is there to talk about?
In the snow.
In the snow. Classical music in the snow. Okay, so we are discussing two things this week. We went to another Baltimore Symphony Orchestra concert and we have a couple of things to say. We also are going to talk about the greatness of Renee Fleming, who we saw in Rosenkavalier from the Met.
Yes.
And she's a pretty amazing singer. I think that, you want to do the Baltimore first?
Yes, do the Baltimore first.
So first of all, ta-ta-ta-ta! The Baltimore
clever
Symphony
marketing idea.
Is it clever or is it slightly silly?
Well,
so they have these little cards of players.
Getting.
Here's Beth Graham, who's a horn player. Yay, horns! Coombs?
Coombs? David Coombs, contrabass, yes, contrabassoon, yes.
Coombs, okay.
Yeah,
and I found another
Coombs
one, Laurie
family.
Sokoloff, who is from also a family of musicians, because everyone's in a family of musicians.
Right.
Who is your little piccolo?
Piccolo, whose parents were musicians
at Curtis.
Well,
so anyways, we just thought these were funny because we were standing out in the lobby and we looked down because we got there early because of the snow, and there was this card, and we're like, okay, what is that? So we picked one up and then we went inside and read the program, and then it said that if you get 10 of them or something, and you mail them in and you win the prize, and you get to have lunch with
Jonathan Carney,
your
the concert
little fiddler
master.
guy.
Yes.
Okay, so I just thought it was really hilarious.
It's pretty interesting.
It's a baseball card.
Yes.
It's a
well,
card.
why not? Now that makes people more interested in the musicians, which makes them interested in the orchestra. I think it's a great, funny thing, you know.
So yeah.
So they're all over the lobby, I guess, or at different times.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to run.
But that's interesting.
Anyway, so we the theme of this concert that we attended was pictures.
Yeah.
So
I'm out of the picture.
You're out of the picture. You can't talk about pictures if you're not in the picture. Okay, so the theme was pictures. We had pictures at an exhibition, of course. We had the Hindemith,
Matthias
Mahler, which is actually an opera, but he also orchestrated the piece.
Well, yeah, he wrote
a little symphony in 3 sections.
Both, right.
And we had a Brubeck.
Dave and Chris.
Father and son.
Right.
Mother and daughter. Wow! Okay.
So they used pictures of Ansel Adams in the West and Southwest and Yosemite, all out there.
And the Indians?
That's
Indians,
the Pueblo Indian area,
probably.
or Zuni or whatever down there in New Mexico, probably, because it looked like that area.
Why is that thing... Okay, we're having troubles now. We'll stop for 1 second.
Yes, stop. It's completely gone.
What?
Is this
on a different setting or something? Oh, I guess I didn't hit the stop record. It's alright, I'll have to cut that out. Okay, so we're talking about the Brubeck piece with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. So the deal is...
Well, my hair's sticking out. I don't
Her
like
hair is
that.
sticking out. Mine, I didn't even brush because I was singing all day yesterday.
Okay,
so we're talking about the Brubeck piece, which was a multimedia experience with Ansel Adams.
They had it up on the top of a big screen up there. For all the pieces, they actually showed pictures, which I thought was a really clever idea because I've never seen pictures of the others.
The Hartman pieces were funny because the first one she showed was the chicks in costume.
Yes,
and that was pretty hilarious because that picture really is really silly.
Yes, it is.
It's like not even a finished sort of thing. It's just sort of like this.
Well, it was.
Anyways,
that was later.
Yeah, so we want to go back to the Brubeck because it was interesting to. Well, he was in the audience and he spoke very briefly beforehand, and we watched them afterwards when they talked. We had to leave early because I had to go sing many times the next day. But anyways, my take on the piece. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. you first.
That's the. Okay, so it was a piece with nice pictures.
That's your take.
Okay, I'm sorry. I am not the biggest fan of the piece, mainly because, especially because Hindemith was immediately following. Okay, Hindemith is a very complex composer. He is a composer that knows how to orchestrate. He is a composer that knows how to use the orchestra and to know how to use. You say he was a violist. And
yes,
I know
he
his
was
viola
a violist.
Pieces.
Yeah, he was
and
a violist.
Actually, I knew this opera because I had to study it when I was in school and knew some of it. So, anyways, his piece is very complex, and he really uses the orchestra, which the majority of symphonic composers do, because they know when to have solos in all the different instruments. They know how to weave everything together and use
yet make
the
it different
dynamics
too, because
and develop it and
each picture
have more complexities and
was different.
And it was great.
In the Mathester Mahler.
Yeah, in the Hindemith.
In the Brubeck, what I felt was that he didn't keep things with a theme exactly. I mean, he had a music theme and things, but it was exactly didn't group them like the Hindemith or the pictures at an exhibition. They were like one theme idea for each picture. He had pictures all the time. He had waterfalls all the time, and then they come back and come back. Why didn't he have one group of waterfall water music, and then another group with the Indians, Southwest, and another group with Yosemite, because then you could have real themes
the
in
Indian
there.
part was a little more interesting because he used more percussion.
Right, different
and that's where his jazz idiom came into it, where his father's so famous for. But anyways, that part was interesting. What I thought very odd in the beginning, before the concert started, and she had him come out, and they showed one picture. And I don't remember what it was. It was in Yosemite.
Yeah, it was a Yosemite, one of the famous ones.
It had all this fog, okay? Yeah. And they played a piece, a little snippet. Yeah. Okay? And I thought that it fit the fog. And then he said, well, don't you hear the crystal? Yeah,
the ice crystals.
The ice crystals. And I thought, what?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was the fog, but he had a different view in his mind. But that's what I saw in the picture, because it did have like the morning mist fog.
That's,
So anyways, well, to me, it was okay, but it wasn't.
It could have been better, for sure.
I mean, Dave Brubeck is a very complex player. I mean, he's famous for his jazz because of the complexity. I didn't get that from this piece. Yeah. And yes, the son seemed more representative of the piece than the father. However, it did say in the program that he did write
he wrote all the themes basically from it.
Well, anyway.
It was more like movie music background.
That was my huge complaint. Yeah. It was like movie music.
Than a real orchestral piece.
And I didn't like that. So.
Yeah, it's
because there's so much.
The idea was great. The idea was great. If he had separated those things like the other two pieces and made a strong case for that type of music with those, groups of pictures, then it would have made sense. This way, it didn't make sense because it was all run together. This and that was the only part that was a little bit different was that Southwest, but the rest of it was all either the mountains or the water or the mountains or some little bit of ocean and then some. But it wasn't.
I just didn't like that his orchestration or whatever. It
wasn't good enough.
Exactly the same.
Yeah,
the whole time. The orchestra, everyone in the orchestra is always playing. Yeah. Where were the breaks, the little spots, which is what I'm saying. Then the Hindemith played, and then he has his his 3 angel themes or whatever that she was talking about. Right. Marinol. So
the beginning.
But anyways, he had all these little solo parts, and then it got thick in texture, and then it got thin texture, and it really was great.
Each one was a different theme as far as the music. I mean, it never repeated. Like the first triptych was one style, and the second one.
There was some repeat in the first, return of the original theme.
But that's not into the second one.
The point is comparing his to the Brubeck. It's like he kept going back to that one same thing and then Hindemith, he did all this development and stuff, and then when he got back to his original theme, it was just a little bit more. Yeah, well. Okay, so that was our take on that. Right. And the